Hello everyone. If Joyce, my wife, suddenly asks, "A penny for your thoughts," my initial reaction is, I don't know if they're worth as much as a penny. I'm usually scoring a goal for Scotland or running along the beach in Prestwick where I was brought up. A bit like Eric Liddell in Chariots of Fire. Yeah. When lockdown happened, I decided to phone friends and relations that I hadn't contacted for some time. I also received calls from folks I hadn't spoken to for ages, and it did take me back to some of the people who impacted my life for good. My father died when I was only 10 months old, and Uncle Andrew, his brother, always played a major part in my life. My stepfather never showed me any love or kindness, so I loved the summer holidays when in my early teens I would spend time with my uncle on his farm. He was a teacher, but also had a farm. During the holidays I would help to bring in the hay and spending many hours in the hayfield. Uncle Andrew taught me to be thankful to God. A simple example is that one day when we had juice and a Jacob's golf biscuit, I was absolutely starving, and I ripped the paper off just to push this chocolate biscuit into my mouth, and Uncle Andrew just went, "Archie, we will just give thanks." He also taught me the importance of Christian commitment, being part of a church, praying, loving others, and to love Jesus and the gospel message. My birthday is the 23rd of December. Give you a second just to write that down. So most presents were a combined birthday and Christmas gift. Uncle Andrew's was no exception. Always a book, mostly education, but sometimes Roy of the Rovers. My favourite book was Through Gates of Splendour, a first-hand account of the martyrdom of 5 missionaries in Ecuador, in the Ecuadorian jungle, written by Elizabeth Elliot, whose husband Jim was one of the missionaries killed by the people they were taking the gospel message to, the Auca Indians. The missionaries sang this song a few days before they died. "We rest on thee, our shield and our defender. Thine is the battle, thine shall be the praise. When passing through the gates of pearly splendour, victors we rest with thee through endless days." The famous saying of Jim Elliot, based on Luke 9 verses 24 and 25, "He is no fool who gives what he cannot keep to gain that which he cannot lose." Jim Elliot's parents continually prayed for him and encouraged him to live for Christ. 2 Timothy records Paul's last words to Timothy, his love and care for him, his encouragement to Timothy to keep the faith and to keep Christ and the gospel central in his life. It challenges us to think of our own legacy. What are we living for, and who are we living for? 2 Timothy verse 3 in the Message, Paul writes, "Every time I say your name in prayer," which is practically all the time, "I thank God for you, the God I worship with my whole life." Although Paul and Timothy were separated from each other, their prayers proved a source of mutual encouragement. Consider for a moment your job, your family responsibilities, church ministry, all the different strands that make up your life. God has a plan and a purpose for you. Each of us needs to demonstrate concerns for others. Who is on our prayer list? The church is full of people needing our support and prayers. Pastors, church leaders, young people starting university, parents with children who have additional needs, young people facing pressure to conform, those with serious illness, older folks feeling the burden of advancing years. The list is endless. Think back to those Christians who supported you and the difference their prayers made. We see in God's words examples of caring, praying, and loving each other. We read of a father looking, praying for the return of a prodigal son, a mother-in-law caring, praying for a husband for her widowed daughter-in-law. We read of the great friendship of David and Jonathan, who loved, cared and defended each other, which became even stronger when their friendship was tested. Take time to think about the Christians who have impacted your life, what they said, what they did, what character traits most impressed you. Today, let us think of those people we can encourage, we can pray for. In what ways can we show they are loved? Finally, let's remember the words of Jim Elliot, who gave his life for his faith. He is no fool who gives what he cannot keep to gain that which he cannot lose. Amen. Thank you for listening.